This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking goblins. We are talking cars. We are talking dungeons and raids and delves and rewards and transmog and mounts and a whole lot more besides, because we are talking World of Warcraft patch 11.1 Undermined. Because by now you'll have already watched all of your Everything in Undermined style guides, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey Tally, does that hilarious undermined pun work in other languages? And, well, it's not really what this video is about, but since you asked, yeah, the French terraminer works exactly like the English version. Terramine means earth mine, and miner is to undermine someone. Nice. In Brazil, inframinado combines infra for below or under with minado, meaning undermined. So yeah, that kind of works too. Everyone in Germany hates Lorenhalt. It is a pun. The German name for the Goblin City is Lorenhal, but Lorenhalt basically means like bus stop or minecart stop, and the Russian translation is destruction in the lower shaft, which, as well as being the most Russian thing ever, is also kind of sexy. I don't know. But I know what else you're thinking. You're thinking, what are the good and bad things about this new patch, Tally? Tell me what to think, Tally, and that's more like it, because today we are going to rate the new features and changes coming in 11.1 and judge them hot, juicy.
Have any of you tried the PTR at all? Have any of you tried the PTR?
Wins or big toxic massive L's. So join us for the hits and misses of patch 11.1. Okay, go. Let's start with the very first thing you'll see when you log in on patch day that I think we'll all...
Me neither. I never tried it. I've never done PTR. I kind of feel like it. I want to experience the story once and not be spoiled by it.
Appreciate. 11.1 will give us the option to change the background scene of our warband camp screen. On logging in, everyone will get given the new Oharan Plains background.
There
and
it
a
is.
menu which shows the others that are available to collect, generally attached to different achievements like zone metas, delves, and raiding. Oh, and you better hope the raid is good, honestly, because you need that Galagio backdrop in your life.
Oh yeah, the Galagio backdrop, that looks fucking insane, dude. I love the whole aesthetic. I do like the whole aesthetic.
I know you do. This is
You're more of a PBR? Oh, I see what you did there.
obviously a big win. It's not even the best new login screen feature. No, you can now create
Yes, I know exactly.
warband camp screens, name them, and select different backgrounds for each. Absolute game changer, literally better player housing than Garrison's was. A dub so big, if you wanted it for Christmas, then it would have to be like a birthday and Christmas present combined, you know? The Zone. A new raid or Mythic Plus season can be as good as you like, but if it's in Korthia, people aren't exactly going to be waking up early full of wonder and excitement about logging into the world of Warcraft.com, are they? And I think it's fair to say that in Undermine, Blizzard may have, at first glance, created the Marmite of WoW zones. As in, you are either going to love that neon roaring
Look at that.
punk downtown vibe, or you're going to hate it. So actually, in that respect, it's nothing like Marmite, because actually everyone loves Marmite because it's the sticky brown nectar of the gods themselves. Don't trust anyone who says they don't like Marmite.
Marmite is an actual
lying.
thing.
And I have to admit, I am traditionally one of those people that has kind of rolled their eyes a bit at the typical goblin aesthetic in WoW, so I was absolutely predisposed to being an Undermine hater. And if that's you too, then what I will say is, having played a lot on the PTR, I would genuinely rate Undermine as a zone a huge, massive win. In fact, I would go as far as to say that
Look at that. That looks so cool.
This will go down in WoW history as the best patch zone ever so far. Yes, it is that good. The whole zone just feels like the devs really had fun making it. It's rammed with cool characters and details and moments, and running about the place, it just feels real and lived in, which is always one of the best things about any good zone, I think. Everywhere you go, it feels like a city with nooks and crannies and fun things going on. It's just so distinctive, and that vibe is so consistent and thoroughly explored. And then when you add the zone music into the equation, which is obviously a win, because I don't know if there's ever been WoW music that wasn't, but this soundtrack is a dub so big you can see it from space. Then Undermine is just a unique, kind of insane, but also distinctly wow feeling experience. And that is an amazing achievement.
Well, then we'll have to play a lot more with the music on, because if it's really cool like you're saying, I think that'll be definitely a plus.
Honestly. That said, I've also been doing this long enough to appreciate that it doesn't matter what I say, there's gonna be some of you that look at these images and this gameplay and you're just like, no, I hate that shit, count me out. And you know, that's fair. For you, you already know the zone isn't hell, and that's fair, different strokes. But I'm certain that some of you will come around and end up loving it like I did. And I said just then you'd be running around the zone, but of course, that's not quite true, is it? Because one of the most eye-catching new features of 11.1 is the drive system. The semi-dynamic ground mount system that is Undermine exclusive and will see you dashing around the map in your very own customizable hot rod. Now look, I'm not gonna lie, fam, this might take you a little bit of getting used to.
How you doing, Jenny?
First jump in. The opening 20 minutes of my Goblin Road Warrior adventures on the PTR were a frustrating, crashy mess. I was the Boeing of the tarmac. I couldn't get
That's gonna be me, dude. That's gonna be me for sure.
Anywhere without the risk of serious bodily harm. But it turns out that's just because I'm old and I hate change. It's actually a pretty standard video game vehicle driving system, this. I compared it to how it feels to drive in Watch Dogs 2 for the 12 people who played that game and will appreciate the reference. It can be upgraded and tweaked to have faster or slower acceleration.
Oh, look at that.
Top speeds and boosts.
So are you gonna be getting like curios kind of for these?
So you should be able to get it whizzing around just how you like it, and you'll get plenty of chances too. As well as being a fun and ludicrously fast way of getting around, there are dragon racing style drive time trials throughout the zone, and an option to turn on your radio and receive basically never-ending quests, complete with cool arrow above your head like you do in GTA ambulance jobs or something. It's very silly, but very cool. Interestingly, a feature that was mentioned when Drive was announced, and which was also visible for a time but unimplemented on the PTR, was the passenger system, where you could choose from a list of collectible NPCs to cruise the streets with you and presumably give you different perks. But that quietly disappeared a couple of builds ago, and instead you can now collect and choose between different car horn noises, which is very important. That's like probably the biggest decision you're gonna have to make when it comes to the hot rod. Honestly, my bar for any very unusual new feature like this is pretty low. Basically, please don't be shit and ruin the game. But fair play, Drive is an absolute triumph, albeit one that I don't think will become a new ground mount standard in the way that dragon riding did. But like dragon riding, it's just really fun, but also very stupid, and it makes me laugh, and it's a huge dumb win for me. Before we move on from the zone, I just want to take a quick spoiler-free look at the story in the zone too, because the campaign quests are something all of us will end up doing, and I have to say that the Undermine campaign story is unusually good. It does something a little bit different to most WoW story installments in that you get the beginning, middle, and end of the arc all at once. In these quests, it progresses the main war within story, leaves you intrigued but not completely clueless
hey, good morning,
as to
LFD.
where it's going next, and provides a really good reason to be sticking around the town and doing the raid in the meantime until the next installment. The opening leveling campaign of War Within did the same sort of thing, and as a result, it avoids the BFA and Shadowlands signature cliffhanger fatigue. It's a subtle but significant shift in the game's story delivery philosophy. I think it's awesome. Another big win as far as I'm concerned. Oh, this is going very well so far, isn't it? What's next? Raids are WoW's bread and butter, Blizzard's calling card, and traditionally the thing that the game does better than any other MMO. And it's basically impossible to know if Liberation of Undermine is any good at the time of writing, but I mean, it looks good because it's full of stupid explodey goblin nonsense, and there's a robot dinosaur fighting a bionic gorilla, so we can only hope that the bosses themselves hit the peaks that the design clearly already has. There are though some judgments that we can make about raid adjacent features, like the new raid renown track. And that's right, fam, we heard you like renown trees, so we put some renown on your renown and then squeezed them together to make a giant juicy renown peach. Because as well as the new Goblin Cartel renown tracks, which is also actually 4 new renown tracks, kind of like how the Nerubian renown worked last time out, there is the Liberation of Undermine Loyalty Rewards Club, a brand new idea, in as much as a renown track can be a new idea. I mean, it's new in the same way that Mrs. Pac-Man is a new idea.
Waka 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 waka,
one
waka.
rank per week as long as they're doing a minimum of raiding at any difficulty, and earning useful upgrades to the pre-raid hub at the Incontinental Hotel. Useful bits and bobs within the raid itself, a stacking power buff in the raid, and ultimately the Robo T-Rex mount, which we all assumed was dropping from the Robo T-Rex boss, but no, it's part of the renown track. In theory, this is a win. I think it's cool to have.
Really, we get that as a mount during this patch. That's a mount.
Unique progress path for raiders. Now, tier sets are rightly open to everyone, and I like the idea of gradually upgrading the hotel to be kitted out in cool stuff. I want it to feel like my base in XCOM, but there is the definite shadow of an...
I'm telling you, if this is one of the best zones they've ever added in WoW, I'll probably definitely be switching my Hearthstone here for sure. Dornegal can go away, Valdraken could go away, but if this is going to be something that's spectacular, why not?
Ominous L lurking in the background here too. The once a week progression has a catch up to it, but is always going to feel arbitrarily time gated, I think. And the big reward from this renown tree...
Hey, tell your wife to wake up and get her coffee, because I'll probably need her to be healing, and then we can start doing some keys.
The 2 puzzling cartel chips, which work as dinars to let you buy raid gear from the vendor, have been removed, and it never feels good to have cool gear removed. I hope this works out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, put it that way. One thing I'm much more certain of my love for is the early story mode for the raid, which opens in week 2 of season 2, meaning that everyone will have the opportunity to go in, defeat Gallywix, and see the ending of the raid for themselves. And like I say, the story of the zone is actually tied up quite nicely before you even get in there, so I'm not expecting any massive revelations or anything, but it is an obvious win that Blizzard is pushing access to the story to players here. Good move.
What do you guys think about story mode? Are you happy that they've introduced that into the game, or it doesn't matter to you?
Tier sets for Season 2 are visually one of the strongest collections I think we've ever had in the game. Dandy Rogue Highwayman, but...
That right there is the best looking one I think I've ever seen. It rivals that of the one that you get out of the Plunderstorm. I like the red one. The black one's really nice too for the, for the whole pirate aesthetic. But for Rogue, that is something. Today's B-Day is Neo. His birthday is today. I like it because sometimes I have to wait until I get AOTC.
Skeleton, though? Win. Demon Hunter that's so reintegrated into society they've become a warden, though? Win. The Death Knight your girlfriend tells you not to worry about? Win, win, win. And look, we didn't even mention Sylvanas Hunter, Dragonhead, Monkhead.
Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about yesterday. So the aesthetic for this one is that whole Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan type of thing right here. But it looks better on the male model because for the women, they put the bandage around the boobs and they don't carry on with the tattoo, which is unfortunate.
And, ooh, Icky Warlock, ooh, seriously, wins all round. The wins are on me. Win City. The actual tier set bonuses themselves, though,
Yeah, I've heard the tier set bonuses are not very good. So we're going to have to really see if they can tweak them at all, because they're looking lackluster.
Sorry, fam. Take a big L on that one. Role-specific bonuses. So, like, one for tank, one for healer, one for DPS.
And they're all going to be the same.
Yes, based on random procs of a new effect? No, this sucks. We do not like this. Even if it turns out to be okay in practice, it's so disappointing and uninspiring to see that it's already failed in the eyes of the player base, and that is not the kind of cool vibe I want going into a new season. And anyway, it's...
One day MS is going to let Blizz give us the NC-70 option for transmog. You think so? I don't think so.
It's not going to be okay. It's going to be an absolute massive nightmare of balancing shit, and we all know it. Okay, let's go on to Mythic Plus and the follow-up to War Within Season 1, which many creators are saying was one of the worst seasons of Mythic Plus in WoW history. Now, I gotta admit, I had a good time. Like, genuinely, a much more fun time than usual in Mythic.
I don't think... Now, I did not hate the Mythic Plus dungeon pool. But what I have not liked is the whole Xal'atath affix. Some of them are just more punishing than others. If BG3 did it, you know it's coming. Well, BG, they're a different company. They're different. I mean, I just don't see Microsoft going that heavy into it.
Plus, but I admit I'm just weird sometimes. The consensus is definitely that Season 1 disappointed. And just looking at the dungeon pool for Season 2, well, it's hard to...
Okay, so bringing back some of these, it's nice that we're going to have a new dungeon, which is Operation Floodgate. But let's face it, Motherlode can go kiss my ass. I never liked it, but I can understand why they would want that one for this patch, because the whole goblin thing. The Mechagon Workshop, they've changed it to a way for, I guess, the last boss is going to be kind of like a council boss, like it is for Stone Vault. And Theater of Pain, though is not one of my favorites, it's definitely not one that I hate the most.
Shake the feeling of another L, really, isn't it? Workshop, again, the third time. Theater of Pain, are you shitting me right now? The new Waterworks dungeon, which you know everyone's gonna hate, because everyone always hates a totally new dungeon in Mythic Plus at first. Okay, that's only ever really happened with Cathedral of Eternal Night and Siege of the Triumvirate back in Legion, but everyone hated those, okay? There's my evidence. The Trash Mob Hellscape, which is the Motherlode, and the...
We need a cramped razor fin crawl M+. What is that? I don't know that I've ever... What is that?
4 remaining War Within dungeons, including Dark Flame Cleft, which has a holy trinity of guaranteed.
This one I don't think I'm gonna like. This one I don't think I'm gonna like at all.
Escort quest, directly followed by an on-the-rails RP section, directly followed by the most annoying boss in the whole expansion with an obnoxious candle maneuvering mechanic, which is going to be the bane of pugs everywhere. We made a video in alpha calling this the dungeon everyone will hate, and we weren't joking. So it's a big L for War Within Mythic Plus Season 2, right? Well, maybe not.
Hey everyone, it's that time of year again.
Did you do PTR LFD? Did you check it out, or are you just looking at like the blue post for it?
Valentine's Day has come and gone, but I like to think of the whole month as an occasion to lavish some love on your favorite.
You did? And so you tried it out. What were you, so if you had to grade it from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I only did lower keys just to mess with them. What would be your 4, 3, 2, 1 star rating? What is that? What would you give it?
Have a look around your inventory, move things, send things to the bottom. The choice is yours, as it should be on Valentine's Day. All of this works so nicely because it's linked up directly to Printful, which actually fulfills your orders. So fulfilling. The product catalog is really extensive, going beyond tees and sweatshirts to personalized stickers, flags, yard signs only available in the US, and even refreshing hand and body lotion. Now that's handy. But of course, the best part is that Printful automatically links
it's gonna be so it's gonna be a 3 for us on stream, but a 1 for the pugs.
Lotion, or just want to change your mock-ups to be 1,000,000% sexier and cooler, you can do that, and your results will be visible in the time it takes to F5 your page. Now that's more like it. Inspired to pick up a little something for your beloved? Why not get them whatever you're thinking of, and a free trial of their own Squarespace site. Just head to squarespace.com/taliesinevitell, where you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain and build the website of your dreams and their dreams. Or just use code taliesinevitell if you prefer to do it that way. That's squarespace.com/taliesinevitell.
Blizz have at the last minute nerfed quite a lot of the most oppressive candle mechanics in Cleft, which will help, although honestly I'm surprised that they left the section in at all, and general reception to dungeon testing among many top players has been very positive, so you never know. What we do know is that Blizz have made some great changes to Mythic Plus beyond just the dungeons. Top tier gilded crests awarded from key level 7, and more crests awarded whether you time the dungeon or not. Win. Oh, and this is a crafting change really, but in my head I associate it with Mythic Plus. Enchanted crests are now straight up purchasable.
I thought this was a fantastic change. We discussed this in a video yesterday. This here, fucking chef's kiss. I'm just saying.
From the enchanting trainer in Dornigal, instead of having to buy a nascent crest and putting in a work order to get it made into an enchanted crest. Win. unless you're an enchanter, obviously, then it's an L. The removal of obvious worst Xalatath affix Oblivion, it's the one where the orbs move towards mobs and you gotta get in their way, with the new Pulsar, where each player gets an orb attached to them and players have to soak each other's orbs for a mastery and leech buff. Win, if only because I hated Oblivion. The punishing challenger's guile.
You know what would, okay, so for the enchanted gilded crest and everything, you know what would have been good? A vendor where you, as the profession crafter of those items, you had to keep it stocked. Now that would be a L for the players because who knows how many people are trying to craft and they could run out, but that would just mean that more of those orders would go into a public holding for the crafters to make and say, hey, we need to keep this up there, and you would still make the gold. I mean, I was only paying 500 gold for crafting. LFD, what were you making off of crafting enchanted gilded? Because I was only paying like 500 gold.
Death timer.
Like for each one.
Penalty moved up to Keystone level 12. Win Keystone Legend title with a new mount reward and making it so that achievement holders will not be able to deplete keys below level 12, which is like, wow.
All right, just so you guys know, you heard it here first. I will become the current oldest 3K Mythic Plus player in the world. You heard it here first. When the season starts, you used to get 5,000. Holy shit.
Win. There is more dub here than at a hipster warehouse rave. These changes are great. We like them very much. Let's talk delves. We didn't get a new delve companion in 11.1 as promised, so instead we are stuck with Bran again, and for the rest of the expansion, which is a huge L, because I like the guy out in the world, you know, he's a nice guy, nothing wrong with him. But in delves, I am Bran's #1 hater. If Bran has one hater, it is me. If Bran has 0 haters, it means I'm dead. Except that this season, Bran has some new levels and tricks, and the ability to tank for you, which is a great big dub, fair play. And also, you can now earn the top 2 levels of crests from high delves. 13 ruined crests for a level 11 delve, and delvers' bounties at level 11 will net you 10 gilded crests up to 3 times a week, which is frankly huge news and a
Guys, I really want to... I'd like to get Zekthar, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. I would really like to get him down before tomorrow. So maybe sometime today we'll go in, we'll one-shot him, and we'll become one of the people that can do that kind of content. Sam got it today right before he ended stream, which means he was milking content for the whole 3 weeks that he's been trying to do that. And you guys all fell for it.
A huge dub for delvers. The new delves are pretty cool looking too. A stinky goblin sewer factory thing and a void corrupted titan site are a nice change of scenery, but also kind of the minimum you'd hope for, so just a small dub for those. And we're almost done, just mopping up some random bits and pieces. The new change to ground swirlies to make them more visible, an obvious win. The world...
That right there, that's a W in my book. I hope they do the frontals as well. But that is a huge W. The frontals more so, they just need to do, please, God. The frontals, they always kill me so bad.
Sets are a pleasingly 40k Gretchen Dreadnought dub and make you wonder how cool it could have been if Blizz went all out for the steampunk look in their tier sets, but never mind. And one of my favorite things in the whole of the patch, the Blood Bowl armor sets. Win, win, win. I love these, they're a genuine dream come true, and I don't expect you to be as excited about making your character look a bit like Blood Bowl players as I am, but I don't care, I love them. Win.
What the fuck is Blood Bowl? What is that? I don't know if he must recognize them from somewhere. I don't know what he's talking about.
Which coincidentally is what I always do at Blood Bowl. So there we have it, the good and the bad of patch 11.1. But what do you think? Is this a patch that you are looking forward to playing? Are you coming back
D&D type of football game
after what you've seen? Or has
really?
the goblin vibe left you cold and actually you're going to be skipping it? Let us know in
Dude, I'll be making all the noises for the I'll be squealing the tires.
The comments below, and thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give their actual
there it is, everybody.
to make all of our work.
What an amazing thing. I will
thank you.
put the link for this video in the description, and I'll also share it here with you guys on chat. Don't forget to give it a good old like, give it a thumbs up.
My name is Taliesin,
and
until next time,
great information. Great information. I enjoyed that. It's one of those things where I truly believe if you are a fan of this game and you've been playing other games or just checked out, you're going to come back for this patch because this patch is going to be phenomenal. You heard it here first.